Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 and today we're in the HGTV DLC for House Flipper, and today I'd like to buy a new house, this time the modern house, for £118,000 with 222 square metres of space, and it's a single storey build. A very spacious one-storey house in a modern style for its years, fully equipped but needs renovation. So they're saying it's a modern one, and let's take a look. From the outside, the garden is possibly slightly overgrown. It'll need a good hose down from the outside, but apart from that it looks like it's got good bones, doesn't look like there's anything terribly wrong with it from the outside. Now the inside, definitely needs new things inside. Definitely needs to remove that tiling, that looks old and sad. Poor little house, it needs a facelift, and we could be the ones to give it that. So let's go take a look around this house and then have a think about what we want to do to put our own spin on it and see what we're going to do with it. So yeah, it's quite overgrown on the outside, but the gardens are not my main focus on these, it's the actual house itself, because these are the new houses, so we can just take a quick look at it. So you've got plenty of off-street parking here, and you've got one of these like open garages here, so you can just run it underneath. Lots and lots of space on the outside of this house, look. Quite a few access points to the outside, look. French doors, normal doors. Yeah, quite a lot of space. It's a big house as well, if you look at it. Big footprint for the house. Lots of open windows. So you should get quite a lot of light into there. And so the sea is over there, so we definitely don't have any sea view, but we're not far away from the sea. Right, so I think this is kind of where you've got your front entranceway here, which I think is slightly odd for an entranceway, had to have a French door. This is the this is the one where we had the gamer kid in it, isn't it? So we've got a small like guest bathroom there for when guests come over to use it, and this we turned into the teenager's bedroom for the gamer room idea. They've got this as an actual games room, look, with a billiard table and things, so that's a potential idea. Or of course we could turn it into like a master suite, because there's a bathroom off here as well, isn't there? So yeah, so we could either turn it into a master suite or into a games room for when you've got guests and things over. So not quite sure which of those two things to do with that one. And then office space over here. Yeah, office space here. That just seemed like a sensible place for an office, actually. Now you've got the dining room with the French doors into the outside, and the kitchen. That is a mess. That needs gutting completely. That if you came into a house and you saw that, you would be so sad, wouldn't you? You really would. But it's a nice size for a kitchen, lots and lots of utility abilities. And when we did the renovations that they suggested, they knocked out walls here, sometimes here, to open everything up. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to knock it out. I'm one of those people that really hates kitchen smells throughout your house, so I'm not the sort of person that would knock your kitchen out into everything else. I really like a separate kitchen to keep the smells out of the rest of the house. I also don't like steam in the rest of the house, so I wouldn't be one of those open plan living people. Oh, so this is the access to the garden, isn't it, through here? So this is like all your utility stuff, so you've got your washing machines, your boiler and everything. So we definitely want to keep that as is. Can add a little bit of storage here, and then we'll be into bathrooms and bedrooms, won't we? Right, so bathroom, I do think that's just really weird that you've got this weird surround here. It's kind of like they're knocked into a cupboard but didn't really knock into it. Kind of odd, isn't it? Yeah, kind of odd. Yeah, we definitely want to sort that out. And then, oh wow, that looks like the big dumping ground, and they didn't clear anything out. That would sadden you if you bought it as well, wouldn't it? Wow, everything's got boxes and things just dumped everywhere. This one's a very sad looking little house, isn't it? It definitely needs some love. So I guess there's potentially 3 bedrooms down here, and at the end you can either make a big games room or turn it into a 4th bedroom, depending on how much space you want for your family, and if you keep that as a study or library or something at the front in there. So that is the house as it stands, and it definitely needs a lot of work, so I'll come back and show you what I've done with it later. And here we are back at the modern house after it's all been cleaned up, just spraying the walls on the outside here with the hose pipers, just cleaned off all that dirt and made it look so much better. I've added some flowers here in the flower bed around here. We've kept some of the greenery and some of these pink flowers that were already here, and we've added a lot of the little flowers around the sides, like rhododendrons and things, a bit of the estibile and stuff just around the sides here, just make it all very pretty. So if we come back so you can see the whole flower bed, I just think that's really cute. And then behind us at the side of the driveway, I kept the big tall tree here, and I've added one of the little Japanese maples with the red at the back. Kept this green plant here, and then I've added a lot of other extra things around it. So I've used quite a lot of the rhododendrons and what did we use? Plants. Let's see, what did we use? We used the Pelargonium, and we used a load of the rhododendrons, and we used some of the oleander, and what else did we use? Put in lilac at the back. Lots of these rhododendrons in different sizes. I didn't add any of the big bushes, so yeah, I think that's most of what we used, I think. I just wanted to add a lot of colour, and I just thought this corner of the garden would be a great place for a flowering flower bed. So that's what I came up with. Just made it a big riot of colour and flowers, just to make it a pretty area to come into the garden too. So I just thought that would be quite cool. Then up the side of here, it had this little flower pot with these pink flowers, and I just thought that looked quite nice, so I just left that one there. Then you've got the long driveway with the cover here for you to park your cars, and then in the back of the garden I thought, instead of doing a solid like patio with lots of the slabs, I thought maybe we could do something a little bit different. So I've used the big texture of the stones, look, and then I used the smaller 50 by 50 centimetre squares to make like little stepping stone path from the big French doors at the back, and then where we've got the single door from the utility room, I've used the slightly off centre higgledy-piggledy path stepping stones across that as well. And we've used some of these flower beds, these raised pots, to just add in some of the flower bed plants to add a little bit of a riot of colour. And you can see I've kind of gone for the yellow through to red colours, so we've got yellow and orange and red all mixed together to make it quite a bright, cheerful grouping. And then I've used the same plants in the same places in this tub at the two sides of the door, like so. And then I've added some seating using these nice metallic chairs and tables, so these have been nice and easy to clean off so they can stay out year round. And then at the side of the single door I've just used these wicker tubs and just put the yellow flower at either side of the door. Keep it symmetrical around the doors, you see. and add a little bit of colour. And then I've added the wicker seating over in this corner, and this one maybe it's lightweight, so it's wicker, so you could take it out of the rain if you wanted to protect it during the winter and just bring it back out in the summer. And then I've added a few things for kids to be playing around in the garden with. So we've added a little paddling pool, the Wendy house, the ball pit, and a couple of goal posts and a couple of balls for playing around. And I made them different colours so you know which side you're facing. You've got yellow team and red team. So we've just got the little kiddie play area in the back garden. And that is everything that I've done with the garden. I've just cut the grass everywhere else and left it clean and simple. And I just kind of quite like that idea. So that's what we've done outside. So if we head back to the front door, I will then show you around the house and you can see what I've done on the interior. Just left some of these pink bushes around the front of the house. I haven't added anything, just took a couple of the plants that looked a bit raggedy away, and that's all we've done with the garden. So you've got these big French doors as your main entranceway. To be honest, I wouldn't use French doors as a main entranceway into a house. I would have changed that personally if it was my place. Though I like the French doors, but I would have liked an extra door. Maybe if you put it in a corner or something, so you could have a proper entry doorway. So as you come in, I've got some places to hide away your clothing and stuff, and maybe kids can sit on the seat to put their shoes on for going outdoors. And this leads you into a little corridor in this direction where we've added a couple of plants and a painting. And here we've got a little guest bathroom for when you've got guests coming in. I've used red and white on the walls, so we've done like stripy alternating stripes to make it pretty. And all you've got in the hang on, let's get inside and then let's close the door, because it is quite small, because it is just a toilet room. So you've got a little stand to keep knickknacks and towels and toiletries and things hidden away, clean fresh towels for when your guests come over, painting to make it cute, and then you've just got the essential. We've got a toilet and a sink and a mirror, and that's everything you need, because it's just a little toilet for extra guest bathroom when people come over, and it's just near the front door, so it's nice and easy access for guests without them having to go into the private areas of the house for the family. And then just next to this we've got the master suite. So it's a lovely big room. I've used red as my main colour, and we've accented it with pinks and creams and whites. So we've got a nice plant for a little bit of extra colour. Got some red chairs just to relax and sit in, and I think that's quite a nice layout for the room personally. I really like that. And if you've gone for the red on the lamp as well, that ribbon lamp, I really like that ribbon lamp. I've gone for this classical style of furniture, so we've got two sets of drawers, and again we've got the plants on top to just add a little bit of colour. And plants are always nice in a house, especially if you're good at looking after them. Use the white framed pictures, so we're bringing the greenery and the water into the house again. Use blinds pretty much throughout the house. Use different patterns in different rooms to match into the colour scheme that we're using. So we've got these cream blinds, so that kind of matches into the cream on the wallpaper over here. Again, the traditional older style of woodwork for the huge wonderful antique wardrobe and the dressing table, and we've got the pink top to the stool to match the pale pink, powder pink I think, walls, and lampshades by the sides of the bed, and this little drawer area poof thing at the bottom of the bed to sit on and to keep as storage. And then we've got this antique style dresser cabinet at the side of the room over here, and another one of the white framed bring greenery into the house paintings over here. So if we look at the room from this direction, so you can see what I've done with it, and I'm really quite proud of it. There we go. And then in this corner over here we have an ensuite bathroom for the main bedroom. We've got the toilet here behind the door, and then we've got the white sink. We've got a wicker clothes hamper, and then we've used the red bath. Shame that the red can't be changed to a slightly darker colour, but got a beautiful big red tub for you to sit and relax with, even with a little pillow to relax your head on while you're relaxing in there. Use one of these new towel rails up above the bath. Use the red towel there. Use this beautiful square checkerboard picture, which I always think is great for kitchens and bathrooms, and you know I use it all the time because we're in the HGTV DLC in the area of houses by the beach. We're going to use the big mirror with the life buoy on around the edges of it, so just to keep that slightly nautical theme in the house, despite the fact there's not a lot nautical about this house, but I just thought that a little tip and nod to the area in which the house is located. And then another towel rail on the wall over here, so that's the ensuite bathroom. So I've used the red idea from the guest bathroom and the main bedroom into the tiling on the floor here. Keep that red in and just add a stripe of that red up the wall, and then behind the bath again we've just had two parallel symmetrical stripes up the wall here, just to add that splash of colour, because if it was all white it would just be a bit antiseptic perhaps, would just be too plain and boring if it was all white. So we've gone for that little red section here as well, and I just think that's turned out really, really well. I'm very, very pleased. I hope you guys like it too, because I'm really, really pleased with this one. I just think it's turned out beautifully. Right, so let's head out of this master bedroom then, and let's take a look at the rest of the house. So the next door that you come to over here is where we've got an office. So I've got a dark brown door here, whereas the rest of the interior doors are all white. So I've made this one dark brown because if you come inside, a white door would just look really wrong inside this room. So we've made it a very masculine space. We've used blue on this new old-fashioned desk. Looks quite an imposing old desk, doesn't it? Like an antique desk that you've kept for generations, and you just want to keep it in your house and don't want it to go. So that matches the door, kind of. We've got the dark wood. So we've got a big shelf unit that matches to the desk over here, and then everything else is kind of dark and masculine. And we've got black walls, and then the black and white patterned wallpaper. I've not actually used such dark colours anywhere ever before, so I just thought it'd be a really cool thing to do something completely different, and I'm really pleased with the way that this has turned out as well. I'm going to keep saying that a lot. I'm really, really happy with this house. I think it's gone really, really well. Let's turn the fire on, make it look pretty as well. There we go. So there's the office space that I've got here. So imagine that the person who owns it will be on this nice comfy chair behind the desk, and then if they've got people coming in for work and business purposes to have meetings and things, you've got a couple of chairs there for them. You've got your books for reference for your work. You've got your little touch of a plant. We've got it in a grey and white pot to kind of match into the colour scheme of the wallpaper here. Got a nice dark clock that matches in. Coming around here, we've got one of these new leather sofas over here, and one of the new rugs, and that matches the wallpaper. And we've got the full wall of that wallpaper again over here. Some of these new shelving units at the back here with some decorative objects on them. We've got a couple of plants. We've got a succulent here, and we've got a cactus here, and then we've got an ivy over here. Fairly simple to look after plants. Just a few decorative items to add a little pop of colour into the room. Kept it mostly in that black, white, grey theme. Added a little bit of blue here and there, and even a green bottle there just to add that little bit of colour. Same as we've added a blue cushion on here, and reversed the colour for the cushion over here, making it mainly white with black spots. Used a snow themed painting in here to keep that white even in the paintings. And then we've got the blinds a little bit brighter. We've used the white background with the grey stripes so that that matches and blends into the colour scheme for the rest of the room. So if we back over into this corner so you can see the view of the office in this direction, I think that's kind of cool. Let's head on to the next room. Now coming in from this main door, you've got this open plan living room area. Tried to keep it in fairly sort of naturalish colours, so we've started with the dark brown floor. We've gone for this sort of sandstony surround on the fireplace. We've added the cacti, so they're fairly simple to look after, and they kind of look like they're in a deserty background because we're in this browns and sandy colours. We've added them in gold pots just for that little pop of extra colour. Used the sandy brown colours in this painting of the horse's feet charging across a plain, maybe even in a desert. We've got a darker brown on this main feature wall here and the back wall, and then we've got this much paler sandy shore colour here. Used a golden globe chandelier. Used various shades of yellows, golds and sandy colours for the furniture, so we've used this big new L-shaped sofa here, a couple of display cases behind, a couple of the new chairs over here, and a slightly more orangey tinge of the sandy colour, and the yellow carpet underneath is again one of the new ones, and this is one of the new tables, coffee tables with a little drawer underneath, look, so you can use these 4 little drawers to put decorative objects in or things that you might want to use. Maybe you could display board games and things just for keeping the family happy. And then around the back of here with the display cabinets, we've got one of the new shelf units with some of these new plants on it, and a drawer unit, and again one of these like almost like grass type plants, again in the gold pot in order to blend in with the rest of the colours. So I think that looks quite cool, and that of course then leads down into the space where you've got all the bedrooms and things, and I've used that pale sandy colour that we've got on that wall over there heading off down into the area for the bedrooms and things. And over here we've now led into the dining room. We've got that huge new table. This is the biggest size of table I think that there is in the game. That's one of the new ones with these new chairs. So we've kept that brown sandy feel coming throughout this room. Added the little placemats for that little splash of colour, sort of a teal colour for those. Bring the outdoors to the indoors here again with the pictures, so we're bringing the greenery in. Added a plant nicely in the corner over here. Another display unit over here so you can keep your special crockery for your guests coming over and stuff in here. Blinds again at the windows, leading out through the French doors to the back patio where the kids can play. And again we've got an archway leading into our kitchen. Here I've gone for a grey and white theme, so we've got the grey white multi-patterned tiling on the floor, and then the bubbles all over the walls. I think perhaps the bubbles is a little bit overpowering, but because we're opened into a different room I think it might be okay. I think if you're going to do a big expanse of this tiling it might become a little bit much, so perhaps using an entire room like this might be just a little more than most people would want long term, because it's a bit busy. Although it's very pale colouring, fairly neutral colouring, it is rather busy, and I think that might be the one thing I would change about the house, perhaps remove some of that slightly overpowering bubble theme on the walls. But I don't tend to use greys very often, so I just thought let's try it and see what we can come up with, and I think it works for a kitchen. So we've got the marble worktops and this sort of cottage kitchen style of doors on the fronts of the units. Remember to add some of the accessories. We've got herbs, we've got tools that you want to be using in your kitchen, we've got a sink, got a draining rack, a nice double oven, a hob. We've hid the extractor fan there in that little higher cupboard. We've got ourselves a nice big double fridge. Again, lots more of these beautiful units. Got some display cabinets on the walls here, and then some with hidden closing doors, and then just got some accessories. Some of these new accessories, and the nice new teapot that we've got in the new expansion, and the bowl of fruit, which you really need to keep around, especially if you've got kids, because you want to try and encourage them to eat fruit instead of crisps and sweets and things, don't you? So you just want to keep that in view at all times to try and tempt people. So there's our kitchen. So if we come back through here, got plants dotted around all over the house. That's our lounge area again, which leads us into our hallway. I've added some pictures as we go along these big expanses of walls, bring the greenery and the shoreline into the house. Add a little splash of colour with the pictures. Let me just show you the pictures that I've popped on the wall down here. And then we've got this little alcove, so I've added the darker colour brown that's on the wall over there into the alcove, just to make the alcove pop a bit more. Added the little night cat picture and another one of the cacti in this little alcove. And then we've got all the bedroom doors and the bathroom and everything coming off the side. Now, the first door next to the dining room and kitchen is the one that leads to the back door. So it's quite a narrow little room, and that leads you to the back door, and that's where you get onto the patio for the kids. And we've got the washing machine and dryer in here. You've got the wood burning stove to heat the house. And I think that's probably the water heater. So you've got all your utilities in that little room, and so if you get all muddy or wet and nasty from the beach or from going for a walk and finding a lot of mud, you could always come in here, throw everything straight in the washing machine before heading into the rest of the house. So we've now got 4 doors left. So the next one along this wall is the bathroom. So this is your main bathroom for the family. Remember, the main bedroom has its own ensuite, and then you've got that small guest bathroom with just a toilet. So you've got an extra place for people to use as a toilet, and your guests don't have to come into the back part of the family home. So we've got a nice big corner tub here. Something slightly odd about the placement of some items in the houses. Sometimes there's a little gap, and I can't always figure out why it does that. It does that quite often with toilets in some of these new houses as well, and it's done it here with the bath, and I really did try to push it as far into the corner as possible. This was the first location where it wasn't red, so there's something slightly out about some of the locations, so do be aware of that when you're popping things in, to make sure you try and push things as far as you can. And sometimes, even if you do, there's a slight gap where you can't control it, which is a little bit annoying, but it's something we can live with, isn't it? So we've used this bubble style of tiling again, but this time we've used it on the floor, and we've used the tinged to pink and purple one, and I actually think this might be a better use of it on the floor, because if you put it on all the walls like we did in the kitchen, it was a little overpowering, but on the floor I think it looks quite cool. And then we've just used the white tiling throughout on the walls here, and this is where you can see that I think it's slightly antiseptic, a little bit cold, so perhaps a little bit of a splash of colour being added to it might be a better way to go. But because it's quite a small bathroom, I think we can get away with it here, but if you had a little bit more space, I think you really need to add a splash of colour into the walls to break up all that white tiling. So to break mine up, I've added some pictures, so I've used that patterned checkerboard style design on the wall again here, and I'm really pleased that with the new expansion we can now change the size of these, because when they were quite small you used to have to add quite a few of them. Now you can change the size, so we've got small, medium and large now, so you can adjust the size so that it fits better into your scheme, and I really appreciate them doing that, because I love using this, as I'm sure you've seen, and being able to change the size of the picture is really good now. So I've got one there and one over here. Then we've got a little bit of colour added by the towel, though I have stuck to the white and grey colour scheme that we've got on the bath and the toilet, and I've got the grey wood on the sink here as well. We've got those patterns again on the towels. I've added one at either side of the sink, and then I've added again one of these Lifebuoy mirrors, and we've added the darker colours here to make it match the colour scheme that we've got in this bathroom. Just added a few accessories around the room to make sure we've got everything that we need in a family bathroom. And I've also got the hamper, of course, there for you putting your dirty clothes in ready to be washed. So that's the family bathroom. Ta-da! Which just leaves us now with the 3 bedrooms. So let's start with the little kids bedroom. So I've gone for very bright, so we've gone for an orange wall and then brightish yellow walls on the other 3 walls over here. And as you can see, I've kind of thought a couple of boys maybe sharing the room, or maybe a boy and a girl, depending on how you want your family to be. So we've got lots of toys in here. We've got one of the new bunk bed set here. So we've got yellow to match the wall, and then we've got blue and the pillars just to bring it in with the rest of the room. So we've added this new wardrobe and cupboard shelf thing here, where you can change all the colours on the front of the unit. So you see, you can have the doors, in fact you could have both doors being different colour, and you can have every single drawer being a different colour, but I chose to keep the wardrobe area blue, and then I've used different shades of yellows, browns and oranges down the side of the drawers to just make it all fit into the colour scheme that I've gone for in this nice bright vibrant young kids room. And I've added toys all over the place. So first time I've used this, it's a teepee. You can have an indoor teepee for the kids to play with. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Got the obligatory little step for the kids to carry around when they can't reach things. Especially good at sinks when they're trying to brush their teeth. Definitely recommended. A few blocks and things, bunnies, teddy bears, more bunnies, cooking set, little wooden rocking horse. There's lots of lovely little toys for kids to play with in this new expansion. Great thing to be able to do to play with kids' rooms. I think I'd love to do a huge kids' playroom in one of the houses. A great big room. I might have to think about where we can do that. And then a little place for the kids to sit, and multicoloured chairs and stools to go with it, and sunflower painting on the wall to go with the colour scheme. So there's my little kids bedroom. Oh, and the ribbon lampshade yet again. Lots and lots of things for kids to play with. Lovely room for kids, lots of great stuff in there. Then I thought a teenager, possibly a girl, probably not a boy with pink, maybe, but I thought it'd be nice to make it not just pink. So what I've done is I've gone for a blue carpet and added blue things to the room. So we've got blue bedding, and then we've gone with shades of purples blending into pinks. So I've gone for a bit of a mix and match room. So we've got, again, I've used one of these new drawer units where you can change the colours. So we've got pink, we've got white, we've got blue. I think it works really well actually in the end. I just wanted to do something a little bit different, so I've gone for the blue desk instead of the pink desk. And again, I've got this, the same as we used in the little kids room. Got that wardrobe and shelf unit where you can change the doors. So I've got pink for the doors, and then we use pink, white and blue on the front of the drawers that pull out, so that you can blend it and mix and match it with the rest of the things that we've added into the room. So yeah, I just wanted to play around with some different colours, and I think it's actually turned out okay. Using all of this new furniture, that the bedside tables, the new lamps, the chest of drawers, the wardrobe, the desk chair, that's new. Use the ellipses on the blinds and on the wallpaper on the wall. And that is what I came up with for the teens room. So we've got like a couple of younger kids, then we've got a teen, young teen, older teen, maybe a pre-teen, maybe turned into a teenager, so they've added that. Add a little bit of a sunsetty shade to kind of match in with the colours, and I like the fact that we can change the size of the pictures as well. And that flower picture, which we've used before, I think I've put it in the guest bathroom, haven't we? Yeah, I think we have. And then one of these new lamp chandeliers again. It's got the pink on the base unit of it, and then the teardrops are in the blue, so that it matches our colour scheme again. And then the final room here. I'm kind of thinking maybe Granny lives in this room, though you could have it as a guest room, so maybe Granny doesn't live with you, she just comes to visit. Or you could maybe have it as an older family member. Maybe the oldest child is now an adult and they've redecorated it. It will work for all of those ideas, wouldn't it? So I've gone for a sort of grey and silver colour scheme here. So we've got pale grey on the accents, like on the pattern for the wall, and then white into the background. We have actually painted with white paint. Now I always think this white paint looks like a very pale grey, but we've gone for a pale grey carpet, added a little splash of yellow to add a bit of bright colour. So we've got a yellow painting, we've got the yellow lamp, we've got a yellow pot with yellow flowers, and we've got gold and lemon on the bedside lamps, and we've got silver cushions, pale grey headboard, and then like white sheets and covers, white side tables, white with grey flowers on your chair, and then the white blinds with the stripes in grey again, so that it all matches together. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this house, and let's just hope that the buyers like the house. So let's take ourselves over here and let's see what the buyers think about the house. So we spent £118,422 on the house. We've spent £1,500 renovating it. We've bought £18,000 worth of fixtures and fittings, so that we have at least we've made a profit here with the offer here. Again, I think the amount of profit that we're making on these houses for the amount of time that we're spending in them is a little bit sad and a little bit poor. See, they keep saying there's no place to spend time with the whole family. What's all this big open area we've got? We've got kids stuff in the garden, we've got lots of places to sit in the main room. I'm not quite sure what they want, I really don't. We've put tons of stuff in for everybody to play with, so I guess they want a games room for the family over here. To be honest, I was thinking it was the Johnsons that were probably going to buy this one, because I was thinking of Granny, you see, for that spare room, and the 3 kids that they've got. They've got the 2 boys, look, and the girl, and yeah, so I was kind of thinking they would be the ones, but yeah, so let's see if we can negotiate a little bit more money than that. But I'm really pleased with this house, and I think that it's turned out pretty well, and let's see what they think about an increase. Yep, cool, so that's good. They've agreed to go for the slightly higher price, so we made a profit of £23,700, so I'm really pleased with that one, and I think that the house has worked out really well. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's take a look at the photographs from the before and after. See how much of a difference that makes. That's huge. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm so pleased with this house. Hope that it's giving you some ideas. Ah, cool. They picked some really good locations to show the difference. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. See, all we did was just clean it up a bit. The outside looks hugely different, doesn't it? That's brilliant. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!